I was a big runner before I got hurt. So anytime I did feel anything, like the mornings after,
Yeah.
it was just like I would hit a run or a sauna. Like the college I went to had a good sauna, and now I drink a blue Gatorade, dude, and call it a day. Like that's all it was. And now it's just not a luxury.
My bad. I muted myself accidentally. I was asking, what do you do for exercise now?
I used to go to this like spinal cord injury rehab gym called Journey Forward, but nothing, dude. It's bad. I need to get back into it. Really, all I do, like, dude, I can only move like a small portion of my body, so I just try to. My wheelchair stands up,
Mm-hmm.
so I just try to stand in that as much as possible to build like bone density and keep blood flow and everything like that. That usually helps a lot. But
Nice.
yeah, outside of that, dude, I wish I was, dude, I was at like a I mean, I was 21 at the time, but I was working out all the time, like
Yeah.
when I got hurt. So that was kind of like one of the worst things I lost. Shitty, but you seem to like hit the gym pretty good amount. You're in good shape.
Yeah, I like to hit the gym. Also, just because of like sitting around editing stuff all day. Like I feel like
Yeah, you
all
need to get
day
up and move.
I'm like compressed into like a fucking hunch. And
Yeah,
yeah, my body will like start to cramp and shit if I don't get some type of like exercise going and if I'm just
uh-huh.
working all day long. So I kind of
Yeah.
like work out for that and then just for like some, some fun too. You know what I mean? Break up the
Yeah.
monotony.
Are we back live or no?
Yeah, we're back live. We're
Oh,
live right
okay.
now. So
We're I didn't know we were my bad, dude. Um,
yeah. So I mean, how should we kick off the UFC card?
well, what'd you do for it?
I mean, I just did a live stream. I didn't do any partying or anything. Just kind of worked.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
How many people tuned in? Do you ever get them out?
Yeah, we got like I think around 3,000 views along those lines.
Hell yeah,
We peaked
that's
at maybe
great.
like I don't know, around 40, 50 viewers or something. It's been a little bit different since the Paramount. The viewership went down a little bit, I think, on YouTube when it comes to like the fight
Because
companions.
why? Because people were used to like not buying the fights, so they went to the fight companions and
Yeah,
gravitated.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
now
can see
I
that.
think it's more accessible with Paramount because everybody can like shell out the $5.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, if you
yeah,
were at
dude.
work per se, like I used to do this. I'd be at work when I was younger, and then I'm not going to buy the fucking UFC card on my phone at work, but I'll like click on a YouTube, you know what I mean? YouTube video and hear somebody calling it. But now they don't really
Right,
do
but
that because they got the Paramount subscription. They could just pull it up at work.
when you live stream something like that, are you allowed to show the visual and not play the audio?
No,
You just can't show anything.
you can't show anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Live streaming is so interesting. It's totally like changed the game. Actually, dude, you know who's super into the UFC? You know Aiden Ross?
Yeah.
Dude, my boy ran into him this past weekend down in Miami at the World Cup game. Like England was playing forget who Norway, and
Uh-huh.
Aiden Ross was there. But Aiden Ross has been giving out like he's doing like fight predictions now and shit. Have you seen that?
Oh, is he? They're
I
probably
don't know if
dog
it's just
shit. No way he
they're
knows what's going on.
he went over on this main
He
card.
did.
He didn't get a single one right.
He picked
I don't
BSD and
follow.
shit.
He picked BSD, Connor, Sandhagen, the whole opposite of whatever the main card was he picked. So
Insanity.
like, yeah,
I went
I
like
don't follow a bunch of
50-50.
like that. Dude, I kind of crushed. Not gonna lie, like I gave out a play on the main event. I gave out Connor Max not to see round 5, and that was my one of my biggest plays on the card. It was like a -300. I just had it, stacked up with a bunch of other plays. So that ended up like working out in my favor. It's just, dude, it's like the aura for Connor is entirely gone now. It's so hard to salvage that at this point. Like you can't be running into the middle of the octagon throwing fucking spinning wheel kicks from outer space and shattering your ACL in 4 different spots, like off a
Yeah.
5 year layoff. Give me one moment of normalcy,
Right.
please. Like after 5 years. I don't know why it needs to like every performance doesn't need to be this like just give us a fight, man. It's not that hard to deliver on, And he did. Instead, the guy like he
Does
has to
way
go and
too
try to be
much
a
and then
hero,
injures himself.
does way too much, and then fucking injures himself, bro. It's like, God, dude. It's like, why do we? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't know. It's. I think at this point, and Connor, dude, you gotta be like full transparency. Connor's my favorite fighter of all time. Always have been, always will be. But like, you got to recognize him now, especially now as like a depreciating asset. It's like we got to figure out what to do with the guy to salvage interest. And I don't know. I made a video earlier today. I think bringing back Nate Diaz makes a lot of sense for a trilogy. I have no interest in Max like at all, and you're expecting me to kind of hold out interest. Max said it in the post fight press conference that he's sitting out until 27. Connor's definitely not going to be good until 27,
Mhm.
and I'm definitely not going to have an interest for Max Connor at the beginning of 2027, bro. It's just not going to happen. Like I don't know
Yeah.
where you go outside of like a Nate Diaz trilogy, which already has like you're just kind of banking on you're kind of banking on old school fans to just really have interest in that. But like try selling that to like the TikTok generation, bro. Like they don't give a fuck about Connor and Nate.
No,
You
they
know,
don't really. They
they
never even
they
saw the
weren't
first
around for that.
two.
They didn't see the first. That was a decade ago. You know, it was 10 years ago, man. So you got
Yeah.
to think, and people that are 21 years old now were 11 when those fights went down. You
Yeah.
know,
And you and me, Connor was also one of my favorites as well. You are like a year older than me or something like that, maybe like a little bit more than a year older than me. But I remember when I graduated from high school, Connor was like going through his rise. So you were probably only like a year or two removed from high school as well. And like when you're
yeah,
that young 18-year-old, Connor McGregor and shit, he definitely like captured the masses. But, today, honestly, bro, every time I've looked at Connor in like a hindsight perspective after UFC 329, looking at a video of his walkout for the Dustin Poirier fight popped up, like the third Dustin Poirier fight, it popped up on my timeline. Dude was in insane shape back then because he was fighting him at 155, right before the leg break. And then you look at like the contrast to his walkout this past weekend, it's straight depressing. Like honestly. It
dude.
looks depressing. Like, and that's what I was saying before this. I was like, bro, like, I don't know why everybody's getting hyped up. This guy's a complete shell of himself. Like a complete shell of himself. And I mean, I guess people are now saying, like, it's so obvious. But bro, I gave everybody a chance. Okay. I was feeling out the fucking streets. I was asking the masses all week. Connor got no chance, right? Everybody voting for Connor in the polls. I'm putting a poll every day, a fresh poll. Who wins, Connor or Max? Connor's getting like 78% of the votes. So I really don't
Yeah,
want to hear it from like the people saying like, "Oh, I saw this coming," but I did see it coming, and I was surprised that nobody else really saw it coming. And now everybody's like, "Yeah, he's cooked. He looked terrible." I mean, everybody else believed that he was going to do well.
dude. Yeah, number one, if it was so obvious that that was going to happen or Connor wasn't going to show up, no one would have tuned in. Number one.
Hmm.
Number two, I completely agree with you. The shell of himself thing, I think during the Poirier fights, I didn't necessarily grab onto that narrative. I did this time around. It felt like this was like a changing of the guard. It felt like Paddy had a way better pop at the press conference. It felt like Paddy had a bigger pop coming out to his fight. I mean, the crowd reaction was crazy during the Paddy fight, and he wins in epic fashion. It felt like Paddy was really just like kind of taking the superstardom of Connor during that, intentionally or unintentionally. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And yeah, dude, I would say he's the biggest winner of Saturday night, almost without question. The guy delivered in the first round, and when the main event flops like that, everyone's going to look to one fight down, and Patty's winning in the first round, right? So it's like
Right.
almost like it sounds weird, but Connor getting injured is almost like great for Patty because all the attention. He's like the number one positive takeaway you can take from the card is the dominance of Paddy Pimblett. You know?
Yeah. And I would also just go back to the McGregor Holloway fight because you were saying like, Nate Diaz re-sign him potentially and go watch that one. But one of my biggest takeaways is like, no, let's just get rid of this guy. I don't know what to do, right? I don't have the solution, but my biggest thing is I don't want to see him fight anymore. And I don't want to fall into the optics of his situation. I think that a lot of fight fans, they fall into the optics and they start to want things for fighters based off of optics and not like logic. And now the new optic is Conor got one fight left on his deal. God, please let me come back into the cage. You saw his tweet today. I'm sure you did. But it's like,
Yeah.
God, please let me get back in the cage. One fight left on the deal. God, please. Can I read between these lines a little bit and tell you that this dude just wants to come back to the octagon, finish off his contract so he can be a free man, then go make other money fights in boxing and elsewhere. of which nobody would give two shits about either. If nobody's going to give a
Dude,
shit about you in the UFC, next time you come in there, people are going to give less shits when you leave. But everybody's going to support this on the basis of like free Connor. He has one fight left on his deal. What the fuck does that have to do with turning out an elite level fighter to the octagon for the fans to watch? Because that's what I tune in for. I don't tune in to see Connor finish his fucking contract. And so
no, I
watch that be
agree.
the
I
new
agree.
narrative though of why people want Connor to come back. Because even when he lost, the whole talking point is, oh, he flopped. He took the bag. He could have fought more, but he gave up. You know, he's playing it smart. He only got 2 fights left on the deal. Now he got 1 fight left on the deal. Bank robbery. And I hate all these talking points because none of it has to do with an elite level fighter. None of it has any historical value whatsoever. And so we're just wasting our time. Like, yeah, we got hyped for this week, but honestly, at the end of this week, it's pretty much a nothing burger.
Yeah, what I'm confused about, so when I see like 1 fight left on the contract, I'm curious as to whether or not that contract is is it a Zuffa contract, in which case they could then place him under Zuffa boxing, and maybe like I heard a lot of like the Floyd Connor promotion. I'm sure you heard all about that this week,
But
right? So it's like I don't want to see it. I'm not saying I want to see it, but it's like, is that Connor's out, right? Can we reallocate? Is it a Zupa contract or is it a UFC contract? If it's a UFC contract, he's going to need to end up back in the octagon. If it's a Zuffa contract, I don't know if there's a clause in there that he can move now. Now that there's a Zuffa boxing promotion, can you move that fight over to a boxing fight and have him fight Floyd and call it quits after that? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe
Actually,
because it's
can you help?
Dana,
Yeah, like can you
there
come to
might be a
some sort of
loophole
agreement
in a
there? Yeah,
contract.
I don't know. But like, dude, at the same point in time, to your point, I don't want to fucking see that.
No,
I
and
don't.
even talking
I
about
have
it,
no interest in seeing
and
that. Yeah.
even talking about it is gonna get us into a situation where we're helping them fucking get this new money grab. Like, I just don't really like this shit. Honestly, like it annoys me, and I don't want to see any more money grabbing shit. I don't want to talk about it. It's fine that we're talking about it now in this sense because it has to be like kind of like put to rest. But I don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't want to like hear about the fact that, oh, Connor versus Floyd, you know, maybe Dana can help Floyd out of his money troubles. I don't give a fuck that he has money troubles. This is the type of
Yeah.
stuff I'm saying where it's like they sell us this stupid ass narrative as to why they should have this fight. Why? Because Floyd's broke? Go make money elsewhere, bro. Not off of us. Not off
I
of like
know.
boring ass fights that you're gonna turn out for us, and we're gonna do all the work. We're gonna talk about you. We're gonna big up you, and you come out there and you blow out your fucking ACL in 10 seconds.
Yeah. No,
Like I
dude.
don't want.
Like,
I'm just so I can't express it enough how over I am to see McGregor fight. And I had said this in the beginning with the whole narrative of like scientifically speaking, this guy's got no chance because of the leg break. He has no shot, and then steroids and shit,
yeah.
drugs.
So that
Like he's
that
no
was like,
Anderson
dude.
Silva. He's no Chris Weidman. Like this dude's been on all the party juices.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Like, yeah, I go to work, whatever, normal, whatever, 9 to 5 job, call it. You get in there and nobody talks about the UFC 365 days a year, right? Like no one talks. Then McGregor comes around and McGregor fights, and then everyone like kind of brings it up, kind of brings out Connor. You know, he's gravitated outside of the sport, right? So people tend to talk about it. He's also promoted way heavier than any other fighter on the roster, and that was all the casuals, the people that only tune into one fight a year or only Connor fights. I'll say like that was like the narrative around my office today. It was like Connor like dummied his ACL because of years of PED abuse, and like your body once you get off of that stuff can't maintain. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like re-injury or injury is very common when you get off of performance enhancing drugs. Now, do I think that's the case? I don't know. The guy could have just torn his fucking ACL doing a crazy Bruce Lee kick for no fucking reason. Or maybe you do die on that hill. Maybe it is PEDs and he's going to be a shell of himself. Maybe it is years of partying. Maybe it's prioritizing other business ventures. The guy's worth over hundreds of millions of dollars, bro. He doesn't. They always throw out the one liner. It's like it's hard to get up and run 5 miles when you wake up in silk pajamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Connor has fucking 9 sets of silk pajamas because he's made hundreds of millions of dollars, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, is his desire to really be in there? Who knows? Is his desire maybe to just have some sort of like disciplined schedule because he's a maniac otherwise.
But shit, figure that out on. This is my thing. Figure it out on your own time, homie. That don't got shit to do with
yeah,
me.
no, I agree. I agree.
You know,
largely.
and the fans, we love these guys. We love these guys, and we just fucking we pity them so much. But I'm just sick of it because all we do is like enable them to some degree. You know, like
Yeah.
even Connor coming back and shit. Like, you know, what does he want the spotlight? Why is he even coming back? Is it a selfish endeavor? Like, what does it have to do with the fans? The fans were calling for it? Not really. Everybody for the last better part of the last 3 years are like, Connor's never coming back. But he captures the masses when he comes back. So I don't know. What's going on with your phone? Is it all right? We chilling?
Yeah, bro. Sorry, the my car just turned off.
Okay.
It was connected to the Bluetooth. Do I got
Shout
you
out
now?
shout out to Franklin though for the $10 donut. Much appreciated, homie. Thank you very much, Franklin. Big bag dropper, Franklin, on the block. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I do see you guys. I see like Connor should take up golf. America versus Connor reportedly earned an estimated guaranteed purse of at least 15 million. Additionally, he received 11,000 in promotional guidelines compliance pay. Interesting.
Am I coming through?
You're coming through.
Okay, yeah, sorry, my car just turned off and you were attached to the Bluetooth, so I can hear you.
Okay. I was just basically saying that Connor coming back is I'm over fulfilling these guys' selfish endeavors. Either you're an elite athlete and you can compete against the best of them and you're working towards a world title, or you're not and get the fuck off of my telly, you know, to quote Connor. Get the fuck off the telly then. Because I don't want to see it. And we've tried this so many times and these fights never turn out. Even Nate versus Mike Perry. Nate can't even take all the damage. The fight just stops after 2 rounds because Nate's face is so busted up with scar tissue. A lot of this shit is anticlimactic. Like, Nate can't even, basically, what I'm trying to say about the Nate versus Mike Perry fight, Nate probably could have got himself back in that fight somewhere along the lines. He wasn't out of it, but he has so much scar tissue, it gets him out of the fight before he can even, like, call it quits. So these are, like, incomplete fights that are taking place. I'm done seeing them. Go move on with your life, bro. Like, go move on. You're ruining the fucking sport. If you don't got title aspirations, move aside.
I agree.
Move the fuck aside.
I completely agree. And dude, this is the number one narrative that I catch shit for all the time on Twitter because I die on the hill of a few separate things. Number one, fade debutants that are coming in from other promotions, and number two, don't bet debutants. So it's like two different narratives, but I always die on that hill for one reason and one reason only. It's just like if you have championship ambitions in mixed martial arts, there's one singular industry standard to prove that, and that's the UFC. Very hard to get there, even harder to be successful in that promotion. But if you're just this like journeyman or some sort of guy that's maybe on the tail end of his career that's just in there for money, I can understand where, from that fighter's perspective, you want to be in the UFC, but the UFC kind of needs to be like a little more picky when it comes to keeping those guys around. There are other promotions that those dudes can go and fight in. Fuck that, dude. I'm in your corner in the sense that I want to see the highest level of mixed martial arts. The only time that you're going to see high level mixed martial arts is when people have championship ambitions. And the only way that those championship ambitions are validated in a promotion that holds the highest level of mixed martial arts is when it's within the UFC. So it's like, I agree, dude. These cartoon character fights can go fuck off to some other promotion. I don't care. Or the UFC capitalizes on it, bro.
Yeah.
Make UFC like old timers or something, a separate Dana White type promotion where it's just like these old timers, they fight. It essentially takes like the Bellator model, these guys that aren't ready to get out of the UFC, keep them around, throw them on some, like on whatever, on a different card than like the actual regular UFC roster and tempo of fights, bro. Because like I agree with you. I want to see the highest level of mixed martial arts of all time, and I don't know if you can necessarily make the argument that Connor's in that category anymore. as good as he was
He's not,
once
and
was.
Paddy would
You
beat the
know,
dog shit out of him.
you think Patty would beat him?
Paddy would beat
Fuck,
the dog shit out of Connor today, bro.
dude.
The
Oh my
absolute
god.
dog shit out of him. It's like Connor's fighting up above a weight class he shouldn't be fighting at. He's not a 170.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just not. So he's
No, I
fighting
agree.
he's
Yeah.
fighting these big ass dudes and he's not even like built for it. And so I think Paddy would beat the dog shit out of him at 155. Beat the dog shit
Yeah.
out of him. Yeah.
I don't, dude. I have a hard time, like, because I was not a Patty believer for a long time, man. Like, you got to think, dude. I'm watching, and then rewatching early prelims of every single fucking fighter on this roster. It's all I do, dude. Work, rewatch fucking fights, and then Saturdays I do nothing and just watch the fights. And it's like, dude, when you take a look at Paddy Pimblett, it was so hard to get behind him early because he was like the technique was just not there, and he was kind of like this hype beast
Mm-hmm.
that just came in from the UK, really easy to root for, but maybe not the easiest to get behind in terms of like putting a ton of stock value. And he's kind of just morphed in front of our eyes as like one of these like really solid fighters. And that now the loss to Gaethje, which is his only loss in the UFC, ages extremely well with Gaethje's win over Topuria.
Mm-hmm.
And like pair that with the fact that like he's submitting fucking Benoit in round one. Yeah, I think you have like a really strong argument that he would touch up Connor, right?
Yeah. Do you think he's because who do you think would be the faces of the UFC today?
I tweeted about it today. In my recap video, I put Patty in the top 3 biggest draws in the UFC. And the
Yeah.
number one fight that I want to see right now in the UFC, I'm trying to think if there's another one. Like, yeah, would be Ilya. I fuck the Gaethje rematch. I want to see Ilya Patty.
I want
Ilya
Ilya
Patty. I
versus
think
Paddy.
Ilya Patty puts asses in seats. It would be great if it was for a belt. So maybe you run, dude. Listen, Justin's long in the tooth. He's shown trouble on the ground before against high level grapplers. Both Khabib and in Oliveira sub them. So it's like maybe you just give Patty another chance. Let him get the rematch against Gaethje, banking on the fact that maybe he can sub Gaethje and then run that to Patty Topuria for the fucking belt.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest fights in modern U.S. history, modern UFC,
Paddy versus
modern UFC.
Charles.
Dude, you could
Parlay
do Patty
that.
versus
Wait, are you?
Charles. Patty
What
versus
was the
Charles
one? What was the
families.
qualifier? What was the qualifier to get Paddy into the Gaethje fight though? Or no qualifier?
Bobby
You're saying
Green?
go straight? Oh, you said no. Okay.
Oh no, for him. So just you run. Maybe is the sun like totally butchering my shot? I can move my car.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I'm saying, dude, like you're the UFC, right? This is how I always view it. I never view it from like what I want. You gotta view it as what brings in the most money for the UFC because that's how the UFC is going to conduct their matchmaking. Period. That's it. And I think the way you bring in the most amount of money is running a rematch, number one, which is Gaethje and Patty, and number two, putting Patty back into a title conversation because he just got an epic first round result. If he loses that, win or lose, you could make him Topuria. Because who knows when Topuria is coming back? That guy's ego's shattered. It has to be.
Yeah, I would like to see because I think the two people who are kind of I mean, you got Holloway in the mix, campaigning for the lightweight title fight, but to be honest, I don't really. It's tough just because it would have been weird to give him the title fight off of beating McGregor, but the way he beat McGregor, it's like it's less warranted to get the title shot, off of McGregor injury.
Yeah, I don't think you can. And it was at 70, dude.
So
you got Oliveira. You got Oliveira in the mix who just dogged
who
him
beat
bad.
him. Yeah, and so
I think you got Sarukian. Like
right.
You got to do. What do you do with Sarukian?
So here's my title picture. Here's my title picture. I think Sarukian and Gaethje need to run it before it's too late because Gaethje or Arman's title shot is like about to be expired. Like I'm about to put like a end of 2026 expiration date on that bitch. And so Gaethje might let it expire its damn self. But that's Arman's fault because he hasn't fought. He's only fought once in like 3 years almost. So
and Arman's weirdly, dude, he's done a good job of like Arman was just like this, dude. He was a wet fucking blanket. Like he had no personality. And within like the last year, he's got into like IRL streaming and like all this shit. And he's done well to like build himself up outside of the octagon, which is Not something that I saw coming. I thought this guy was just kind of gonna suck,
And
and
it's
I
like,
think
good on
that's gonna
you.
help him. What's up?
It's like, good on you, but like it doesn't trump the activity. You
No, it doesn't trump
you
the
should have
activity
fought
at all.
again and
But
kept this going.
I don't think it's. I definitely don't think it's hurt him because at the back to the UFC argument, the UFC cares about like reach, engagement, how many people they can promote this fight in front of, and with Arman building himself up promotionally outside of the octagon, I do think it's definitely not going to hurt his chances. Put it that
It's
way.
not gonna hurt, but I think all I'll say is like I pretty much agree with you, but I think he's rode that out to the furthest extent. I really do think by like February of 2027 is like the most liberal I could be about letting him still
Yeah,
have a title shot. Like it's bought him this much time. The fact that we're still talking about him for a title shot is not because of his fights. It's because of what you just laid out, his success on
yeah,
social media. So that's only bought him so much time though, and he's already running on borrowed time with that. You know,
completely.
like you heard what
Yeah,
Paddy said about him in the media day. He's like, dude, that guy's got to fucking fight, not wrestle every 2 months. Like he got to fucking fight. And that's why I'm saying Arman's title shot should expire soon because let's say Paddy and Charles Oliveira run it before the end of 2026, right? Paddy Oliveira takes place, concludes, one of them wins. I will die on that hill and tell you that Arman's shot is expired and the winner of Paddy versus Charles deserves it over Arman.
oh, dude, 1,000%. Because then you also have the narrative. Yeah, I
But
don't know.
Gaethje out till 2027 too. So why can't
Yeah,
that
I know.
happen?
That's what's, dude. So yeah, actually, to your point, and
So
now you
Arman
have
better get fighting, bro. He better call somebody out because Arman should probably call out. Okay, because Holloway as well, right? Holloway and Arman, they're operating off a little bit of privilege and entitlement. Let's just call the spade, right?
yeah,
They're operating off a little bit of privilege and entitlement. And why not run it with each other then?
yeah,
You know, Arman
yeah.
versus Max, the battle of the entitleds, and
I
then you
like
get the
that. I
real
like
you
that.
get the real number one contender fight, Charles versus Paddy. Ilya's still healing up. You give Ilya the time. You let some of these fights play out. The landscape change a little bit. We come to the table again with Ilya at the beginning of 2027, and we see what's next for him. But I don't think Ilya's going to be in this conversation of the Paddy's next fight, of Gaethje's immediate rematch. I really think that we should lay it out kind of how I just said it. I want to see Max fight Arman. I want to see Max because, like I'm saying, I'm tired of this thing where it's like, oh, Max is on the way out. He's 35, so let's give him a gimme fight. No, bro, let's just keep fucking running it.
Yeah,
Max wants to be a world champion. We're not gonna pussyfoot around that. You got to go
right. And
fight
no,
Arman
I
then.
agree with that. And so I actually I disagree a little bit with what you're saying about Max being entitled. I actually think Max has the resume to demand fights. I don't think Armin does.
Yeah.
But to our point earlier in the to our point earlier when talking about fuck, what was I gonna say? To our point, or to our point with like wanting people to fight at the highest level and only wanting people in the UFC that have championship ambitions. I still think Max is that good because his fighting style allows him to go late in his career. Number one and number two, I do think he still has championship ambitions. So it's like I want to see Max. I'm still in the corner of wanting to see Max fight, regardless of how the Charles fight went and like this weird, whatever situation that just happened with Connor, or whatever we want to call that. Like,
Yeah, I'm still interested in
um,
Max. I just want to clear up the entitlement thing real quick though and say it's because Max isn't deserving of a title shot, really, because he's just
yeah,
coming off of a loss to Charles and then he didn't do anything against McGregor, but he's being entitled because he's like hee hee ha ha. I got to win over Gaethje though, so Gaethje might fuck
yeah,
everybody else over and give it to me, and I'm gonna
right,
sit my ass out till 2027, which is you're entitled to do that. But that's what I'm saying. You're entitled to do that. But since you want to be like so hee hee ha ha and like cheeky with it, then shit, bro. I hear how you're talking. So you think you're the best. You think you
I
you
know,
qualify, then you fight Arman, bro, because both you guys are calling for title shots. And to be honest with you, you haven't really done shit to get this title shot.
yeah,
I
and dude,
respect
another
Max, but
argument,
in the landscape of your last fights, Charles and Paddy are putting in work in the division right now. If they run it with each other, you guys can't keep dying on your stupid little hills of I flatlined Gaethje. Oh, I beat Dan Hooker. Just think about the fact that this guy's gonna get a title shot off of beating Dan Hooker and then
right,
decisioning Charles all these years ago. But that decision over Charles, I'm talking about Arman, is what already got him the title shot with Islam, which he forfeited. So that's
right,
why I'm saying, like, we gotta like Arman and Max, you guys weigh in this fucking weeds of entitlement, fight each other. Charles and Paddy, they're actually putting in the work, fighting the next guy up.
Yeah.
They're fighting the next guy up. So
There's
I
also,
think we should reward that with the number one contender fight.
yeah, there's also the argument of when you take a look at like the Max argument of Max knocking out Gaethje, you got to recognize that Oliveira just dominated Max, and Oliveira also has a first round win over Justin.
So
So it's
Justin
like
wants that lick back too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So and Max can't die on that hill when there's already a guy in the division that just beat him and has also beat Justin.
Yeah, he basically one-ups Max because he's like, you got to win over Justin, I got to win over Justin, but guess what? Who got to win over you, Max? Me.
And also, who had the win? It's like Max had the bigger moment. Charles was more dominant in his win. He did in the fucking first round, you know?
Yeah, it was a quick result. And I guess the last thing to kind of like finalize that point is it's like, listen, Max, you got the money, you got the bread, but you can't have everything, homie.
Yeah.
You can't have everything, homie. Like, you got the bread, but shit, like, sit back a little bit. We got to let the division play out. There's too much. It's already been log jammed enough. Max, if you really want to be world champ, this is my thing. If you really wanted to be world champ, you should have turned down the McGregor fight. But listen, you chose the money. I don't fault you for it. But don't double back now and try to double dip and be like, I got the Max fight, or I got the McGregor fight. Now I'm going to try to parlay this into a title fight. It's like, it's kind of given a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I'm cool with you getting the money. Cool with you getting McGregor. But shit, if the title meant that much to you, then you should have asked for Arman if you really thought you're the best.
Yeah.
You know, but you didn't, and I accept that. But let's not double back and be disingenuous now about everything.
Dude, do you think Topuria do you think he stays at 55 after that dog walking?
Well, it's like I think he still beats a lot of the guys at 55. I think that the guys who are coming up, who are lower ranked, will give him troubles, especially as the ages even out, because Ilya's getting older. Yeah. Guys like Quill and Salkild and shit are getting older or getting into their prime, right? Ilya's already kind of passing his prime now as the years go on. So I think
I don't even think he's 30, dude. He's not even 30, man. Topuria.
Yeah, I hear you. But like maybe in like a few years when Ilya's like 32, 33, and Quillen's 30, 31, it might be a tougher matchup because I think that's when they'll run it. I think they're years apart from running it.
Yeah.
But I think the top of the lightweight division, Ilya beats pretty much all of them. Who doesn't he beat? I think he beats Paddy, for the record.
Ilya?
Yeah, I think he beats Paddy. I think he already.
I definitely thought that before.
I think he probably beats Max
me 2 months
again.
ago. You asked me 2 months ago. You asked me before the White House card. I would tell you to liquidate all assets and put a bag on Topuria in that fight. And now it's just like, I'm so confused.
I think Topuria beats Gamrot. I think Topuria's hardest fight is Arman Tsarukyan. That's the only question mark. I'm pulling up the rankings right now, so just to give you my opinion.
They have Topuria at 1 still?
Yeah, so giving you my opinion, he already beat Charles, right? He lost to Gaethje, so we know the results of those. I said Arman's the toughest matchup. He already beat Max Holloway too. I think Paddy he beats. It's at least competitive. I think Gamrot he beats, and then you got Moicano.
Gamrot's 5 right now?
Yeah, Gamrot is 6.
In the media rankings or the meta rankings?
Media rankings.
Wow. Holy shit.
Meta rankings. Okay, wait, we're going off the meta, right? Not media?
No, go off media. Fuck the meta rankings, dude. That thing's a dumpster fire.
Okay, so if we're going, meta is because they don't account for like a lot of the discrepancies and shit because it's fucking.
It's stupid, dude. Those things are dumb. They had Kevin Borjas in the 10th ranked.
It's too black and white.
It's so stupid.
The meta is too black and white. There's color in the wins and losses that is completely ignored. I noticed
exactly.
Like having Paddy down way low is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But
they did that simply based off of one loss to Justin.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Look at the body of work he put. He was undefeated to 7-8-0 in order to get up there.
It's like proof
and that's
that's
where these things are like they just play way too heavily on recency bias.
Yeah, so I agree.
Like in the media rankings, don't do that.
I completely agree with you. But just to finalize this out, it's like number 7 is Moicano. Ilya beats the dog shit out of Moicano, and then number 8 is dumbass BSD. I'm gonna start calling him dumbass BSD because BSD, I don't know how he made it this far. Dustin Poirier was just on the podcast for Paramount with Masvidal and shit. And there was this great point that was made, and I didn't even know he was talking about BSD because I was like listening to it in the background. But Dustin was basically saying like one of his past opponents who he had beat who fought on this card, which is he had beat McGregor and he had also beat Max and he had also beat BSD. So I wasn't really sure who he was talking about. I thought he was talking about the main event. But
Yeah.
he was like, "No, he's not that good. He's actually not that good." Right. And again, I thought Dustin was talking about like McGregor or something like that. But then it turned out when the conversation finished, he was talking about BSD. BSD is not really that good.
Yeah.
But to finish that point off, Weidman was like, that's interesting that you say BSD isn't that good because usually anybody that fighters beat, they want to big up their opponents that they beat.
Right. They
So
want
the
to boost
fact that
their
you're
own strength of
exactly.
schedule.
So the fact
Yeah.
that you're being honest and saying BSD ain't that good, it actually like tells a lot about BSD. He really ain't that good.
Yeah, like I think what BSD has in his corner, and listen, I'm a BSD fan. I think he's always entertaining. Is like this just kind of delusional, like I will go out, like he didn't tap, like I will go out and get fucking murdered before I quit. And when in cardio, and so when you can wear on guys with like crazy pace, a fearlessness, and maybe the skill set isn't entirely there, but you're willing to engage and force a firefight, and you're somewhat decent on the ground to the point where you can wear on people, that's where BSD is good. When you have a high level fighter, either on the ground or in the striking, like Dustin Poirier, it's just like they're too credentialed, you know. But be it like, I don't want to totally discredit BSD because think of like what are your thoughts on Roofy? Like, where do you think his ceiling's at? And fucking BSD walked that guy bad. It wasn't even fucking competitive.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that's throwing me on BSD right now. It's the number one fight. That fight confuses me, bro. In not to pocket watch or throw out figures or what, the biggest single financial loss I've ever had in gambling was on Roofy over BSD
Mm.
ever in my life. I'm not gonna say the amount in my life
I'm
was
not gonna say the
I
amount.
was yeah, I'll throw up. I thought, dude, I thought Roofy was going to absolutely rinse that guy stupid, like put him into a coma.
Mm-hmm.
And it just turned out that like when you get when you get certain guys to the ground and you have the ability to just not quit and like stay with this like crazy delusional mindset and pace, guys will break to that, you know. It's just the highest level of dudes that won't, the Paddies. But like,
Do you want
bro,
my honest opinion though?
where does that fight go with Paddy if Paddy doesn't land an early round one sub? Like, but I don't know, is it any
Here,
different?
here's my honest opinion. It's
Yeah,
a
let
bit
me
of
hear
a
that.
red pill, and I mean,
Yeah.
I would say I would say of all the things I've said today, this might be the one thing to just remember that I said. The UFC is not as good as it once was. There's the UFC and MMA is kind of regressing, bro.
In
And
what sense?
in the sense that like Mauricio Ruffy, right? The fact that BSD mauled Mauricio Ruffy, and then you got Paddy Pimblett absolutely killing BSD. There's just too much discrepancy in these rankings. It's such a large discrepancy, and these guys are only a couple rankings apart. You know,
Yeah.
basically saying that like I think Paddy is of the level. You know, I think guys like Dustin Poirier, they've been of the level. I don't want to fully red pill you, and maybe I'm going a bit far, but I would go on out and say it. I think BSD and Ruffy, they're not on the level. They're not on
Yeah. Both
the
younger
level,
guys.
you know. And why are they in the rankings then if they're not on the level? I think
Because
because
they're
the U
promotionally sound. You can promote them.
they're
They're,
promotionally sound, but I think the UFC is also regressing. Where are the better guys than them? You know, where's the
I
cream that's
think,
rising
dude.
to the top? This is the cream
I,
that's rising to the top, unfortunately. And then you get
yeah.
these big discrepancies when they enter the top five. You know, like
Right.
basically, it's getting to a point where anything below the top five, you're not really an elite fighter. It used to be a thing where it's like, I'm the 15 ranked fighter in the world. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know how to contextualize this, but in wrestling sometimes there's only three guys in the bracket, right? And so
Yeah.
like you could go 0-1 in a wrestling tournament and place third and get a medal without
Yeah.
winning a single match. The UFC is getting like that.
Yeah. I would say like where we're at right now. And by the way, to your point, that's the number one reason I don't bet women's MMA because of the discrepancies and the vast difference in levels of competition between fights.
There's like girls
Because you
with
take a
negative
look at,
records who are ranked women
dude, it's like it's crazy.
because
And
they're
so,
literally filling a
but you
slot.
take a look at, and it's not like, dude, it's not a sexist thing. I watch every women's fight every
Listen, if
Saturday.
they were good, I'd
It's
have
not
no
like this
problem
crazy
with it.
sexist. I have no problem with it. But here's the thing: like, when you take a look at the sheer amount of men that do MMA and how many people it takes to get to the UFC, say there's 100,000 guys that do MMA. There's 15,000 women, right? So it's like you only have to beat so much competition in order to get to the UFC if you're a woman, and then from there you see these chicks and they run through like their first two fighters, and then the second they get a ranked opponent, it's like they've never fought before, bro. And
They
it's
say
like
this about
I think you
soccer.
come.
Did you hear this comparison with
It's
soccer?
It's very similar in soccer.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
similar in soccer.
The countries with more people are usually the
Right.
better team because the cream that rises to the top is more elite, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, but yeah, to your point, I also think right now the UFC also has this. It's a changing of the guard in the sense that you and I came up with the UFC as this promotion that would take a bunch of guys that were specialized in specific martial arts, whether it be jujitsu, boxing, wrestling, and then they would come into the UFC and slowly but surely they would develop themselves into MMA fighters. And now we're at the point where you show up in the UFC as a debutant or as a guy early in his career as an MMA fighter because MMA was in its infancy a long time ago, and there was no other pipeline to go through in order to get, an MMA skill set. Now guys start from fucking birth training MMA as a holistic skill set as opposed to one specialized discipline. And I think it makes more complete fighters. But when those like where it gets like confusing is when the roofies of the world go in and lay a fucking egg the second they see good grappling,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Then it just throws you for a loop. It's just like, bro, how are you this inept?
Yeah. And I think it also comes from maybe a blurring of the lines of like uh seeing guys with promotional value and then pushing them up sooner on the merit of promotional value and not off the merit of skill. And so
Yeah.
that's why you have some guys in the rankings who aren't really belonging. And then uh you have some guys in the rankings who maybe aren't as big of names, but they kind of belong. Like I don't want to hate on everybody in the 6 to 15 range. Like I think Fiziev is good, Rafa Garcia's put out good performances. So I don't want to fully like hate on everybody, but I think that like some guys do get up there quickly. And like BSD and Ruffy, I think BSD got such a high ranking because they threw him up to fight Poirier back in the day, and he's been trying to like defend that ranking ever since, and all he's gone is down.
Yeah.
He got like a ranking by default because he got the Poirier
Outside of
fight.
Roofy, yeah.
Yeah. But
And Hooker, or like Hooker. Then you have like, dude, when the meta rankings came out, I was
yeah, BSD beat Hooker, huh?
yeah, that was his last win. But like, dude, when those meta rankings came out, I was hoping for like a whole new start here in terms of how the rankings were looked at. And my whole thing was like, let's get rid of the fucking guys that are just chilling in the top 15, the Yair Rodriguez's of the world, the Dan Hookers of the world, the guys that aren't over. Like Dan Hooker's been more active recently, but like Yair, dude, enough with guys. If you're out for a full calendar year and you haven't fucking fought, get the fuck out of the rankings. Get the fuck out of the rankings. We're not considering you a ranked fighter anymore. You're going a full year without fighting. I get injuries. You lose your ranking if you're injured too long. Period. Like that was the number one thing that I wanted to see, and I also wanted, to your point, like this merit-based ranking to disappear. Dan Hooker's wins from 2019 are no longer relevant to me. Okay, it's 7 years later.
Mhm.
Like we got to stop considering those.
Right. I feel you. I feel you on that one. We got the chat going crazy. Somebody says, "Nah, bruv, there's hella killers out of the top 5." Not really though.
There is, dude. There is.
Like I didn't talk shit on Sal Kill or Tom Nolan. I think those guys kind of do belong.
Oh, I don't think Tom Nolan belongs.
You don't
Fuck
think
Tom
so?
Nolan.
Tom did a decent job against that guy Ferez.
He did so good, dude.
He did.
I'm saying that because I'm pissed. Ferez he was he looked like Bambi out there just falling all over himself. It was like so frustrating. I'm pissed because I was all over Ferez in that fight. Tom fought a good fight and he's good.
I think the size of Tom and Quillen is gonna.
Yeah, I would love to
problems.
see them. I want to see that fight.
Yeah, they're teammates though.
Are they?
They're teammates. They're boys.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, both Australian or whatever. The Australian connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's so nice on the feet, bro. He's so long, slender man, dude.
Yeah.
He's smooth with it.
I think
I'm a fan of Tom. you know. And Tom's actually pretty good on the feet as well. It's just like I do think there is fluke wins. I think if him and Perez ran that back, I think Perez would win. But I mean, Tom fought a great fight. He did what he needed to win. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on that. Yo,
No.
what did you think about my boy Royval? I love that guy.
Oh yeah, Royval got a really solid win, bro. Really solid win. Yeah, really solid win. I just think that good shit on Brandon. It's just you got to tread carefully with him because he I'm not trying to shit on him, but I just like to say things for how they are. Like he makes a lot of mistakes in his fights, and that's why he kind of like lost to Josh
Yeah.
Van. But he can will through these victories. It just the unfortunate thing is that as Royval gets older, the things he relies on to get him through these fights and eventually get to the victory, the things he relies on, it's gonna start giving way sooner. Meaning, like right now, he can rely on his chin a little bit, right? You saw him get clipped multiple times against Loner Kavanaugh, but he was able to kind of withstand it. It's gonna get to a point where he can't withstand it anymore, and then he can't will out these victories. But I do like Brandon Royval. I think he's a cool dude. I mean, I was happy to see him win for sure. I just think I hate to see his technical flaws sometimes in the fights.
You couldn't be more accurate. That 100% so spot on.
Yeah,
And it's like, dude, these things that start to go, to your point, the worst division to have that in is flyweight because like the first thing to go is speed, then it's like durability, and the only thing that you really need at flyweight is to be like extremely fast and durable, and you're gonna go places, right? So
right.
it's like, dude, he does, but I also think that I'm not going to discredit him, but I think like his fighting style kind of leans into that. He's open to making mistakes because he can rely on his durability. He can rely on the creative grappling exchanges and all that. And I think it's awesome. Is it going to take him super far? No. But you also got to consider like, dude, Brandon Royval's last 6 opponents: Loner Kavanaugh, Manel Cap, Joshua Van Champion,
Moreno,
fucking Moreno, and
Ty.
Alexandra
Did you
Pantoja
say Tyrell already too?
and Tyra.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
listen to that strength of schedule: Tyra, Pantoja, Van, Moreno, Kavna, Cap.
It's like he
That's
fights all
that's
the top
every
three,
best fighter in the division.
and they've
That's
all been
that's
in
what he's
like the
fought
top three.
consecutively.
They've all been in the
All
top
of
three
them,
within
dude.
like the last calendar year.
And he just sits in the top. He won't go away, dude. And I love guys like that. And
Yeah.
he's also consistently. When was the last time you watched a Moreno fight and you were like, this is like not the like this is the greatest fight I've ever fucking seen. Fight of the night.
Royval does put on great fights, win or lose. He does.
Win or lose, fight of the night in the Kavna fight, fight of the year against Van. I get he gets knocked out in the first round against Manel Cap. Still an insane moment, putting himself out there. The fights against Pantoja were great. Close title fight, dude. He's insane, bro. I'm a huge fan of
He's
Royval.
a cool
He's
guy. I
so sick.
actually, after one of his losses, I kind of was saying that like I hope the UFC will take care of this guy. Like I did give him some constructive criticism, but I actually like Royval probably more than a lot of the flyweights.
Yeah,
Just on the merit of like the guys. Okay, because I've been like pretty. I've said this a lot of times, but I don't respect every UFC fighter. I don't. I actually don't give a fuck that you made it to the UFC. Just like you say, like if you come from another organization and you prove nothing in the UFC, don't mean nothing to me, right? It's the same type of thing. And I take it a step further, and
I mean that from a betting perspective. I do have respect for them, but
yeah.
keep going. That's hilarious.
Okay, so I want to put it like this because
I love that.
it needs to be separated because some of these fighters are only here for themselves to serve their own little mission to say, "Mom," to quote Joaquin Buckley, right? To say, "Mama, I ain't no bitch,"
Yeah.
And it's like I don't give a shit what your mama thinks about you or what you're trying to prove to her. I care about the guys who step in that cage like Brandon Royval, who actually put their brain on the line, who risk brain damage, who care about entertaining. He cares about entertaining the fans. I know that. He will put his health on the line. He will risk wins to entertain fans, right? And the way he develops his style is to entertain the fans. He goes to these press conferences, beat the fuck up sometimes, and
Bro,
that's why I like him
for
though.
this? Did you see the post fight for this press conference?
I didn't catch the
Or this
post-fight
fight?
press conference.
Dude, so he interviewed and he said that exact thing. So he has a kid on the way,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like in the post fight presser, and he was like, "Dude, I got a kid on the way." So my whole thing was like, I'm going out there, even if I get knocked out, like it's gonna be the most entertaining fight that I can put on, so I get that fight of the night bonus. I need he's like, I'm not coming home without 2 checks, and I'm not coming home without a bonus. So it's like I'm gonna make the most entertaining fight possible. But he does that every fucking time, dude.
He
It is
does.
without fail.
And with
Without
the kid on
fail.
the way or not, he's gonna do that for us.
So
And
sick,
but
bro.
that's why I like him. That's why I fuck with Roy Vol. And I just want to say
Yeah.
that this is why I get pissed off and I say it like how I said it, where it's like I don't respect every UFC fighter, because there's UFC fighters who are trying to put themselves in the Brandon Roy Vol category and say you should respect me because I put my health and my safety on the line to entertain you fans. And no, you
Yeah.
fucking don't. No, you fucking don't. Because if you don't do it like Brandon Royval, if you don't do it even like McGregor, why do you think he's so respected worldwide? Because even in his losses, McGregor has put it all out, put it all on the line for his fans. You know, there's no quit in him. Maybe we could talk about this last fight. There was a little bit of quit in him, but
Yeah.
that's I'm talking about before how McGregor made his name, why people connected with him, why they loved him, because he did care about entertaining the fans. And so it actually is a big pet peeve of mine when like a fighter loses per se and he gets shit on by the fans, and then he's like, fuck you fans, you know, the man in the arena, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, all this gay ass shit. No, homie, you're either exciting or you're not, and you deserve praise or you don't. And
That's why you
I like
can't,
to
bro.
separate it and say Brandon Royval is a guy who deserves praise. And to be honest with you, a guy like Sean Brady is the exact opposite of what I'm talking
You hate
about.
Brady, bro.
You know what I mean? Like Brady, enjoy your fucking life, bro, but nobody else gotta like it. Nobody else gotta like it. You know, and there's a lot of Bradys out there, but no one else gotta like it because you don't fight for us. And that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. But don't get mad and don't try to take that narrative that Brandon Royval gets bestowed upon him, which is like, you know, we fuck with you win or lose, homie. We got your back. You know, you don't get that same
I'm trying
treatment.
to stop the glare. Sorry,
It's fine.
dude.
It's fine.
Dude, that's why I think Josh Hoke is like
Another
like
one.
you can't criticize him. Like, I get the personality's cringy. When has there been even a remote moment that wasn't entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So hey, dude, before we cash out of here though,
Yeah.
we need to cover your boy Delgado. He's fighting this weekend.
Oh, okay. Who's he fighting?
Bashy, dude,
Oh
tough fight.
shit.
Yeah, it's a
Hell
great fight.
yeah. Oh wait, when the
Yeah.
fuck did that get booked though?
It got booked away. I remember talking about it on the last pod that we did. So it's been booked for a minute.
And
But,
wait, Bashy was always his opponent? Like
yeah,
he
bro,
didn't
it's a
switch
tough
up?
fight. Dog, they put him through the ringer,
Bro,
bro.
he's
They
about
gave
to
him
fucking prove me right. Jose is about to prove me right, man.
You think he wins?
Wait, you DM'd me, huh? You DM'd me and we talked about
I hit
this.
you up. I sent you when it
You
was booked.
texted me
I
it.
texted you. I was like, bro, this is fucked. Because, dude, they've given him Nathaniel Wood, Feely, all these like murderers off rip. Now they give him Bashy, who's just like, this is a textbook fight that the UFC sees two guys that they want to put promotion behind, but they need to figure out which one to go with. And the winner of this fight will really start getting promoted heavy.
Okay. Bashy's fucking Tapology picture is so gay.
Bro, dude, what is the chat saying anything about that prediction? Do they have predictions on
Let's see.
Bashy Delgado?
Tony Sal says Bashy is my boy. Bashy gonna win. Damn, Tony Sal. Okay.
Bashy's good, bro. He's very good.
Hey, Drew says Castro will say some disrespectful shit, then explain it, and I'm like, oh, okay, he has a point. That is me. I'll just fucking say it, and then it's like, all right, now here's the logic behind it. But yeah, we don't respect every UFC fighter around here for sure. They say Goyval is back. All right.
Goyval.
Goyval
Dude,
is
also,
good.
before I get it, what time is it?
Yeah.
I gotta hop out here in
you're good.
5 minutes.
Yeah. You can hop out whenever. You said 4:15, so it's all good whenever you want to hop out.
Dude, the a play I need to give out this week, must bet is Alberto Montez -110. The line is so broken on this fight. He's fighting Tommy McMillan. You know Tommy McMillan?
Of course.
He's fighting him, and I just think, dude, I think he chins him stupid. I do not think Tommy McMillan's good. I think this kid should be a -400 favorite. Line makes no sense to me. So
is Montez an underdog?
It's like a -110 fight. He's like a -102 right now.
They're both pick'em then. Both favorites.
Yeah, it's a pick'em, and I love Montez in the fight. So for the whole chat, that's a good opportunity to win some money.
Money line.
Yeah, easy.
Okay, and then what's your official? Sorry to make you say it again, but the official one for Delgado versus Bashy?
I won't put that out as a tracked play.
Okay, but
if I had to lean one way or another, I think Delgado's grappling's a little untested, and Bashy's going to come forward with a crazy grappling pace. So it's either Delgado finish or Bashy decision. And I'll go Delgado finish second, third round TKO.
You'll say
He's too nice on the feet, bro. He's too
so
nice on the feet.
Delgado TKO.
But Delgado needs to go forward. If he wins the fight, if he goes forward, he'll win this fight.
Yeah,
and he'll touch him up bad.
I think so. I'll just add to the point I was making earlier. Bashy's one of those guys I'm talking about though, where it's like I better never catch him say nothing about like, hey, you fans, you know, you just so disrespectful. I put my life on the line for you. No, you fucking don't, homie. You just hug and grapple the whole time. You know, so I don't want to fucking hear it.
There's valid reasoning, dude. And he's kind of like that. So when it's at distance, I mean, Delgado's going to touch him up. I'll bet Delgado. Close fight.
I think Delgado got the danger factor. Would you say? Who's more dangerous for a finish?
If there's a finish in this fight, it's Delgado. Undoubtedly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then just to get you out of here on this one, as quick as you want it to be, DDP or Usman? Tony South saying you on DDP ? I'm on DDP, bro. I don't think Usman's getting that dub.
Usman proved me wrong pretty heavily against Buckley. I know Buckley's your boy, but I like really laid into Buckley on that line.
That's fine.
Thinking he was going to get that done, and he lost. Yeah. But then Buckley did the same thing against Brady. So it's like DDP is just so fucking massive. I don't know if you're going to be able to control DDP. I know DDP just got controlled by Chimaev. I don't know if Usman's going to be able to do the same thing. And if it's on the feet, DDP carries a lot of power. I don't know. I would go fight not to go the distance, honestly.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I would put.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Who do I'm gonna be on DDP for that one.
Yeah, he's like a minus 260, I think. He's a favorite, so.
Okay. Ricky says Usman has literally zero chance against DDP.
He has no knees, bro. If it was 5 years ago, maybe, you know.
So shit, I guess if Usman has zero chance against DDP and you say it's gonna end in a finish, maybe we go DDP finish.
Yeah, it's just I always struggle getting behind DDP's fighting style. I think it's so dog shit.
I know.
You know,
it's gonna work against Usman.
I've never bet DDP once in his entire UFC tenure, which is fucking crazy.
Nah, DDP just kind of like arrived out of nowhere.
Do I got you?
Yeah, you got me. Let's get you out of here.
Usman's stagnant too. Like, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. Usman stagnant?
Sorry, you're just lagging a little bit. I think my phone's overheating, but
okay.
Yeah, I think Usman's stagnant. He could get caught. My phone's overheating, bro. You're going in and out. But
okay. Peace out,
because
homie.
this thing's in the sun, dude. I've been holding my hand up over here the entire time. Nice seeing you, dude. Yeah. We'll catch up again soon.
I'll get you on for the next number card. Usman, Islam, Ian. All right.
Yeah, I'm all in, and I'll be in the office for that one too. Sorry about the car thing.
Okay, peace out, homie.
All right, bro.
Have a good one.
See ya.
All right, shit. We can just go full screen real quick. It's just me and this bitch. All right, boys. That's gonna be the stream. Damn, everybody just tuned in now. We got everybody tuning in now. The stream's over, so you guys got to catch the replay. But yeah, shout out to Saturday for tapping in. And shout out to everybody for watching. Shout out to Jew. Shout out Tony Sal. Shout out Ricky LaFleur. Shout out C Blue. I haven't seen you in here in a minute. I've seen a few people in here that I haven't seen in a minute. AJD popping in the chat. Scott Snyder. True Silence popping in. Haven't seen True Silence in a hot minute. Yeah, shout out to all you old boys for tuning in. Shout out to all the regulars for tuning in. America First. Everybody tuning in. Kevin from Chicago, Jimmy Jam. Everybody tuning in. Auto, shout out to everybody. Shout out to Franklin for tuning in and for the $10 dono. Much appreciated, big dog. You already know. Shout out Space Kid. Shout out Mike Co. Shout out Tony M if I didn't say him already. And everybody else who tuned in. Anybody else I missed. All right, boys. Peace out. I'll catch you. Tomorrow is my birthday officially, so maybe I'll go live, maybe I won't. But yeah. We'll see about tomorrow. But the next time I'm on live, shit, I will be 30. All right, boys. Peace out. Peace out. I'll see you. Thanks for watching. Like the stream on the way out. If you didn't like the stream yet, like it on the way out. You know, 12 likes ain't enough. We want more. All right, peace out. Peace out.